So let's take a look at this easy Venn and Euler diagram question. So a botanical garden grows flowers with various features: fragrant, medicinal, tropical, edible, and thorny. Each flower was grown with one or more of these features. And we can see that in our Venn diagram here, where we've got all of our different overlapping shapes and our key underneath with what each shape represents or what feature it represents. Now, when you look at these questions, it's really important to look at the specific question nice and quickly so you know what information you're trying to draw out of that diagram. I always think it's best to read the question first, and then you can pull the specific bits of information from the diagram that you need. So based on the diagram, how many flowers have exactly two features? So I'm looking for the overlap between two shapes. So we have the 6 there, the 2, the 11 there, because that's the overlap between the arrow and the heart. We have the 2, the overlap between the heart and the circle. We have the 4, and we have the 5. The 10 here, this would be overlap between 3 shapes, so wouldn't count. Add all of our numbers together, and we get 30, so C. Let's take a look at this medium difficulty Venn and Euler diagram question. The diagram gives information about the numbers of people who had drinks at a barbecue. Which of the following statements is true? More people drank blackcurrant juice than apple juice. The reason this is a medium question is because you're going to have to do quite a few quick calculations for each of these to work out which one is true. But remember, as you go through these questions, as soon as you get a true answer, you can move straight on. Let's have a look then. So A, more people drank blackcurrant than apple juice. So let's compare our blackcurrant. We have 5 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4. So 5 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4, we get 11. And our apple juice, we have 8 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2. So 8 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2. And we get a total of 17. So this first one is false. There are more people drinking apple juice than blackcurrant juice. B, less than half of the people who drank orange juice also drank apple juice. So let's take a look at our orange juice and our apple juice. So let's add up our total for our orange juice. So this is 6 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1, and we get a total of 13. And we can see that that is quite obviously not double the number of apple juice. So this is also false. C, 8 people drank exactly 2 types of juice. Let's have a look at how many 2 types there are. So we're looking for our points of overlap here. So 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. So this is also false. Which means that we've got to our fourth option, which, because the other 3 are all false, that means this one must be true. So I could just move on straight away. But I'm going to do the calculation just to check. 19 people drank only 1 type of juice, so we've got 8 plus 6 plus 5, and that is equal to 19. So this is true. Let's take a look at this hard Venn and Euler diagram question. A college is running elective classes for 92 students. 28 students have enrolled in biology, 26 students have enrolled in chemistry, 24 students have enrolled in environmental science, 14 students are taking both biology and chemistry, and of these 14, 8 are also taking environmental science. Which of the following diagrams best represents the above data? Now, the reason this is a hard question is because there's quite a few different calculations you might need to do, a little bit of a mental arithmetic there, in order to help you with this. Now, there's one way, there's a little shortcut we can take, a calculation we can do, which is going to rule out 2 of these options straight away. And that's going to be adding these 3 numbers together. By adding those 3 numbers together, we can see we get 78. And so we can see that there are 14 students that are not in these 3 classes. And we can see that in A and in B, there is a 14 outside of the Venn diagram. So A or B are going to be the correct answer. We can immediately rule out C and D. Let's then take a look at the next step. And what I'm going to focus in on is this kind of combinations on the Venn diagram. I'm not going to start trying to work out different permutations of 28 and how we could create 28. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to do 16 plus 8, and I can see that 8 is these individuals that are doing environmental science, biology, and chemistry, the overlap between all three. 16 plus 8, oh, fortunately, that equals 23. So this must be the environmental science. And I can see on the other side here, the 16 is being added to the 6 and the 8 there. So that doesn't quite work. 12 plus 8 is 20. That doesn't work at all, which means that there's no potential course there. And 14 plus 8 plus 6 also doesn't work. So just by doing that, I can now rule out B. We can go through and check the rest of the numbers. 12 plus 8 plus 6, that is our 26 students that are doing chemistry, and 14 plus 8 plus 6 are the 28 students that are doing biology. So there we go. That's how we can work out that A is our correct answer, and there's a few kind of tricks that you can do to get there slightly quicker.